Lyft Price Lock just got released, and I gotta say, this is awesome. So you can see right here, I have some screenshots pulled up on my phone when it popped up on the Lyft app. I've already done a video about this in terms of when they released or came up with the idea in terms of a news article, but now it is officially released. Here's the idea, as you can see, that basically you can cap your commute price. We're gonna talk about the word commute in a little bit because I think it's kind of interesting, but that's for a bit later in the video. But as you can see here, cap the price of rides you take regularly for just $3 a month with Price Lock. I gotta say, this is a massive win. I have to stress, I have no affiliation with Lyft or Uber, might as well say that. But this is awesome. For $3 a month, the idea is you take the rides you're taking normally, and you don't have to worry about surge pricing or dynamic pricing. You can see that your locked in price will be protected even during peak hours. And let's be honest, I think this is meant more for the morning commutes and evening commutes in terms of you going to and from work, basically. And as we all know, those are peak hours, right? The best times to drive for Lyft and Uber is morning commutes, evening commutes, Friday and Saturday nights, right? So you can see here that make mornings more relaxed. No need to keep checking prices, but keep in mind, you could set pretty much whatever time you want. So when I go to here, you can see this is how it looks. Lock in a price to crush your commute. Cap the cost of rides you take regularly. Like I said, pretty simple, to be honest. You can see right here that I select a pickup location and a drop-off location, and then I choose a request window. So in this case, you can see, like say I'm just going from Playa del Rey here in Los Angeles to the Santa Monica Pier. Like say that's where I work. I can pick right here, choose when your request window starts. So it's a window of 1 hour, price locked between 8 and 9. I really like that. I was kind of curious, like, if it would be wicked strict, would they be like, hey, you have to leave at like 8:30, or would it be like a 10-minute window, which is very short? An hour is actually way longer than I expected. So I have to give Lyft credit. I really like this idea, not just with the concept, but in actual practicality, right? Let's say, you typically go to work at 9 a.m. I think that's kind of typical for most people. Sometimes you want to leave at 8 because you want to get there at 8:15 or 8:30, kind of start your day a little bit earlier. Like say other days you're running late. Like say other days you're like, you know what? I really don't have to get there until 9 o'clock anyway. So why not just order it at 8:45 or 8:15? Very, very easy to do. So you have an hour window where that price is going to stay the same. Next, this is how it looks for this exact situation. As you can see, pick up in Playa del Rey, drop off in Santa Monica Pier, request between 8 and 9 a.m. I pay $3 a month, and you can see that it says that typically I will always pay $28.14 or less. Gotta be honest, that's pretty standard. I'd say for Playa del Rey to Santa Monica Pier, $28 is pretty standard. Like I wasn't sure if they would over-exaggerate how much you're gonna spend so that it seems like you're saving money, like do that kind of trick. Like I know Uber Eats does this where they say, hey, like if you buy this burrito for $18, you get $2 off, but the burrito's $14 anyway, right? Like there's a lot of tricks that a lot of companies use to make it seem like you're saving money. I gotta say, $28 is pretty standard, especially for the morning commuting hours. I'd say that's pretty standard to go from Playa del Rey to Santa Monica Pier. And as you can see, that basically I'm gonna spend $28.14 or less every time I order. And this is one of those things that, as we all know with surge pricing, with dynamic pricing and everything, I mean, literally one ride could save you money, right? I could see very easily, and I've seen it, when I've gone from Playa del Rey to Santa Monica or that kind of route, I have seen it be sometimes closer to $30. So even with just one ride that costs $3 more, you're saving it, and that's for 1 month, right? You can also see that locked in prices may vary each month, and that does make sense. Like say every month they recalculate what the average might be, and they're like, okay, we're gonna cap it at this or whatever. So it does fluctuate. That is something to keep in mind, right? But I think that is pretty standard, being honest, right? And then lastly, if I go here, you can see that how savings are calculated. Locked-in prices are discounted using historical pricing trends. For each price lock pass you pay, so you can do this for multiple passes, of course, might as well say that, you can save a maximum of $40 in a month. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of this, because there are a couple interesting things that pop into my head. Most of them good, 90% good. I don't say 10% bad, but a couple interesting things. So first off, let's bring up that last point that I said. You can save a maximum of $40 a month. I gotta be honest, I get why maybe they have like a cap on it to an extent, but it does kind of stink that if you're like, okay, I'm spending $3 for the entire month, and then like say a week goes by, like say you use this, of course, 5 times, you'd like say go to work, as most people do, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Well, after you saving $40, it seems like you're not gonna be charged the regular amount. Granted, and this is what's kind of annoying about this. On one end, I'm like, it's kind of annoying to have a cap, right? But part of me says, are there maybe hacks around this? For example, could you create multiple of these, like say from 7:30 to 8:30 and then 8:30 to 9:30, and maybe you spend $6 a month for a maximum saving of $80 a month, right? Are you able to do some hacks, if I call it that, or tricks with this? But at the same time, I also think on the other end, no matter what, $3 a month for this, even with the cap of $40, you're still going to be saving almost inevitably $37. I mean, for commuting hours, as you all know, with dynamic pricing and surge pricing, this is not any shock to anybody. You never know what you're going to spend. It is kind of annoying, especially if it's a route or trip that you take normally, right? Because I think about it, at least for me, I don't take a Lyft and Uber in terms of, I don't know if you use the word religiously, but I don't take it consistently. I think it's maybe a better word, right? I don't go to and from a workplace every day. I have a car. Obviously, I work from home. However, I do take it out on Friday and Saturday nights. And sometimes I'm not too perturbed unless it's something ridiculous. Like if I'm going somewhere and I'm like, oh man, the surges are crazy today. But I'm like, hey, I'm drinking. I want to be responsible. I want to be safe. Sometimes that's kind of the roll of the dice of taking an Uber and Lyft, and we all know this. But if you're taking it consistently to and from work, and the prices can fluctuate as they always do, I think this is pretty good. I'll be honest. I think the Lyft Price Lock idea is a great idea. One thing that just popped into my head, though, and this is something that's been kind of in my head, just kind of racked my brain. I know I did mention this on the news article video. Like I said, I did a video about this previously when they kind of first talked about it, but didn't release it yet, is what stops me from doing this on a Friday night. Let's say I'm going out to a bar, and let's say, and I'm making numbers up. Let's say that the ride is typically $30, but right now it's $43, right? It's $13 more, just to make it up. Could I just buy this, use it once, so I spend $3, but my ride's actually not going to be $30, or if I total it up, I'm spending $30 plus the $3 for this membership, so I'm spending $33, which is $10 cheaper than $43. So if anything, maybe I buy a pass for just one night, or literally one trip, I save that money, then maybe I cancel the membership, right? This is very similar to any kind of membership, whether it's like Netflix or Amazon Prime or anything where you cancel any time, you're not locked into some crazy binding contract. So that also does make me think, is this something I could do every time? Could I have maybe in 1 month, 10 or 15 of these where every time I go out, I do this. I spend $3 to save potentially $5, $10, $15. And yeah, maybe I don't have to spend that $3 up front, but hey, I'm saving money. That is another thing. I might test that out as as an experiment, at least at the exact time of this video. One of my good friends, she's having an album release party here in LA, and it's happening this weekend, at least at the time of this video. So part of me feels like, what if I did that, where I bought one of these on a Friday night just to literally use one time, did the ride, got dropped off, and then canceled it. How would that work? Maybe we'll do that as an experiment. But I gotta say, at the end of the day, though, this is, as you can tell, that's why I kind of talked about the word commute way earlier in the video, and I put it in quotation marks, because I think this is trying to target the commuting people, the people who take Ubers and Lyfts, or excuse me, in this case, just Lyfts, to commute to their job, right? I don't think it's definitely not meant for people going to the bar randomly on a Friday night. That's why I think they're stressing the word commute, not just trip, not just ride. I think the wording seems to be very specific to kind of subtly hint hey, we're really trying to target commuters here. We're really trying to target people who do the same ride every day. They do it for their job. Maybe they do it for dropping the kids off at school, whatever the case is. We're doing this for consistent people who take a consistent route within a consistent time frame, right? And I gotta say, even though the $40 cap is kind of annoying, like I said, one, I wonder if there's a workaround. Like I said, say you have to get there at 9, maybe you get 2. You get one from 7:30 to 8:30. You pay another $3 fee for 8:30 to 9:30. Yeah, you're spending $6. Now you have an $80 cap. Either way, though, although that is kind of annoying, no matter what, you're still going to be saving money. And I think at the end of the day, that is what I think is the big win about this, is you're saving money to when the rides you're going to be doing anyway.